Peter Harrop, I'm chairman of ID TechX, and although my people know all about this subject, I don't. So I'm here to learn about this subject from the BeBop people as to what exactly they do. So,
all right.
Tosh, if you could tell me, please, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Toshi, VP of Operations for BeBop Sensors. We're a startup located in Berkeley, and we're doing pressure-sensitive fabric sensors. So, as you can see here, we've got an insole sensor here, and if you look closely, you can see there's a multi-layered stack up of inks. We're working with DuPont on these inks, and you'll see there in their booth they've got a sample of this same sensor. We're printing directly on the fabric, which is sort of unique. It allows us to put the sensor in all sorts of different areas that having a board engaged with a conductive fabric wouldn't allow for. As you can see, we're also embedding the microcontroller right into the sensor. So what we've got here really, and if you take a look at this, is really a 0.5 millimeter thick piece of fabric, and we add a microcontroller to that, and you've got a very thin, very flexible sensor.
So that's silver you're printing, is it?
That's correct.
And what's it for? Why would, I mean, I don't think I'd want to go through airport security with that, but what's it for? What's it for?
So there are a couple of applications that we have talked to companies about. Some of those are for gait analysis, which can be for a number of things. They can be for athletes, they could be for folks who are doing rehab with lower body injuries, to make sure that there's not a huge amount of strain on say, the side of the body that has been impacted by injury.
So this is a disposable product, is it, for a given investigation?
Certainly could be, but the idea is that these would be integrated with other articles of clothing or apparel for permanent use as well. But we can make them for disposable applications, but this is not necessarily one of them.
Okay, good. And it's environmental, is it? I mean, there's no toxic materials involved in that?
Oh no. We've done quite a bit of material analysis. We've run it through the wash and sent it to.
Now, could you give us your vision for the future of your company? What sector do you think is, if I allowed you to sell only in one sector, medical, automotive, aerospace, what would you choose? And where are you going to really mesh gears? Where in future is your enabling technology going to take you?
Well, that's a tough question. I don't think we'd want to limit it to one single vertical, but of course, the automotive industry is a big deal for us because it allows us to, of course, this is great for safety mechanisms such as occupant monitoring for, let's just say, some targeted deployment of safety devices like an airbag or something like that. It'll tell you if there's somebody sitting in there who's 100 pounds and 5 feet tall, or 300 pounds and 6.5 feet tall. So
that can be embedded in structural electronics. It could be really secure.
That's correct.
Long, reliable, long life, all those good things.
That's correct.
With
I think that
towards getting rid of dumb materials and making them smart.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate description. But again, I think that the reason I say that is because the automotive industry has a sort of a very rigid standards for what it is that they require, but they're also highly interactive with users. But even if we're putting things inside of an automobile, the application goes beyond just in the auto industry. We could be putting sensors in seats that are in automobiles, or they could be in aircrafts, or they could be in your living room, for instance.
Right, and
so
you're
again,
using silver, but we have a number of exhibitors that show how they can print copper, which is a fraction of the cost and has some advantages in having no sideways creep and so on. Is copper printing of interest or not?
Well, I can't say. I would say that that's probably that's just not a direction that we're looking at right now. It doesn't mean that it won't be in the future. So again, probably not. Probably not something that.
Okay. And
you're
a wide area sensor business in a sense. Are you interested in other forms of sensor where you deposit thermistors or something, or?
That's not really our. It's not really in our wheelhouse. No, we're much more interested in putting sensors into devices that people are interacting with, or other things are interacting with those things. Of course, this is a consumer product. It's not. It's not exactly what BeBop is focused on, but we are focused on being inside of consumer products. We're not actually building the products. This is from our sister company, and they're doing, they're deploying the fabric in a slightly different way than BeBop is doing. You can see here that the silicone mold here. You can see the fabric that is actually being deployed in a slightly different way, but the effect is still the same. You've got touch-sensitive buttons here. You can see the force magnitude in the yellow, or excuse me, the red circle there. And then if I press harder, you can see if you look at the visualizer, this is all different magnitudes of force. And again, for controller devices, it's great because a lot of times it's just on-off.
Yeah.
Here we've got, I guess in the musical industry they call this velocity, sort of a three-dimensional input which has any number of programmable outputs.
So let's be clear again about the names of the two companies so we can distinguish them. There's BeBop Sensors and what?
So Keith McMillan Instruments is founded by Keith McMillan. He's the founder and CEO of both companies. He was getting a lot of inbound inquiries on from robotics companies, medical, automotive, and he decided that the amount of inquiries was going to be enough to sort of support a business to stand on its own to supply OEMs. So about a year ago, he spun out BeBop Sensors from Keith McMillan Instruments, and BeBop is owed to the musical origins of the company.
Thank you very much. An impressive two companies. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you.